100 here, 3v3 Typhon Arena. Blue team, we have Sickler as an Apothecary support commander. Fights melee by default, has a passive health regeneration aura and a target heal. Not the toughest though. He'll be fighting at the top. Alongside him is RavensCG15 as a Techmarine. Fights ranged, defensive, can deploy turrets and reinforcement beacons and stuff. Pretty nice damage too. Korbin as a Plague Champion alongside him. Defensive commander for Chaos. Good at damage over time and support also. Ranged by default, also deploy turrets, which might be an advantage for the red team early game. At the bottom here, red team is Gote as a Farseer. Support commander, fights in melee. Pretty speedy as all Eldar are pretty much. Kingdom alongside Gote as a Ravener Alpha. Commander fights in range by default, can deploy tunnels for himself and all of his allies to use. Lots of maneuverability then. Looks like he's focusing on harassing power early on. We have FaHu rounding out the red team as another Apothecary. He's coming bottom with his Marines up against the Plague Champion and the Techmarine at bottom. Ravener Alpha now coming to help out. Our blue team gonna go for turrets as soon as possible, I would assume so. Ravener attacking Chaos Space Marines from range and the Plague Champion. Heretics are getting flanked here by Hormagaunts. There's their Doom Blast suppressing the Hormagaunts, allowing them to escape. Yes, Hormagaunts now running into the Chaos Space Marines. Very aggressive use there. They may go down though. Just get away. Great play by Kingdom. Mixing it up at the bottom. Chaos Space Marines forcing melee on these Termagants, which is what they should do. Vastly superior to Termagants in melee. They are very low on health though. Forcing off the Termagants. Forced off themselves. Ravener Alpha forces melee on the Plague Champion, so he can't use his Plague Bolter. Looks like Gote has forced off Sickler from the top. Or not. Looks like he's just come straight to the bottom to help out with his Marines and Scouts. Dual tactical Marines for Ravens, so a pretty strong ranged army in tier 1. Korbin has decided to go for fetid armor early on to stop clumps of Tyranids getting too close, I imagine. Might be going for a Plague Sword, we'll see. We have a Plasma Grenade from these Guardians given to them by battle equipment. Hormagaunts moving in. Already have the Adrenal Gland, so pretty dangerous tier 1 melee unit. Knocked back by the shotguns. Hormagaunts now flying in. I think they were healed there by FaHu. Forcing off all of those Marines. See how much trouble Space Marines can have with melee early on. A single Hormagaunt brood forcing off all that stuff. We do have a turret here from Ravens. This is a Techmarine Tarantula turret with a heavy bolter which will suppress infantry. Red team have both of the top. Not sure where the Farseer is now. She's coming to the bottom. Has her Armor of Fortune. Just adding to her support capabilities. Very sneaky place to put the turret. Seems to be able to shoot through this plateau, hitting stuff all the way over here. More tactical Marines on the way for Sickler. Already has Assault Marines on the field. Jump infantry with bolt pistol and chain swords. Assault Marines also on the field for FaHu, as you'd expect from Apothecary players. Flamers on these tactical Marines, healed up by the Apothecary, working on this natural power of blue. Took out the node, now working on a generator. Apothecary staying back. It's a good tip for new players who play the Apothecary. Seem to tend to charge him in headlong, which is not where he needs to be. He's now forced off. I think Blues have enough here to force off. They did take out 2 generators and the node. Tactical Marines lose a member in retreat to Chaos Space Marines melee. Heretics in their default state working on a power node very slowly. Here comes Gote though. going tier 2. Did not see if they got a third unit and lost it. Don't think so. Kingdom also going tier 2. And FaHu, blue team a bit behind in tech then. Crippling poison on the Apothecary, rooting him in place. He's still in the fight though, going after the Raven Alpha now. Needs to be careful and is forced off, should get away just fine. Raven Alpha now needs to be careful in melee with Tactical Marines with more shooting. Dual Tactical Marines should be able to ward off termagants, and away they go. 2-1 cap for blue. Have the bottom locked down with this turret, also hitting red's power here. 428 plays 446, not much movement in the VPs moving into tier 2. Gote taking blue's natural at the top. Red's natural is in the east. Red team pushing back. Apothecary forced off though. Such a fragile commander early on. Chaos Space Marines have their Eternal War but are forced off. Red should be able to push here. Just stay away from the turret. Concentrate on hurting blue's economy. Zoanthrope on the field for Kingdom. Artillery unit. Has a shield and has a health regen synapse. Pretty short range on that synapse though. Gote happy to just camp blue's natural. Here come heretics. They will be forced off though. Very sneaky tunnel going down here from Kingdom. Not spotted yet by these Marines. Jen's being roasted by a Tactical Marine Flamer. Plasma Devastator cancelled by Ravens. Now going for a Razorback. Dreadnought on the way for FaHu. That could be a game changer. No vehicle counters on the blue team that I can see. Plague Champion fully kitted out with his Plague Sword and his Icon of Nurgle. Zoanthrope knocking it back. These Tactical Marines very low on health. That Zoanthrope needs to be very careful. Flies into retreat. Very, very vulnerable and fragile and slow unit. The Apothecary of Sickler went down. Farseer has her Singing Spear, so she's doing some pretty nice damage in melee now. Also has her Spirit Stones, allowing her to heal. Apothecary gets back up, must have used Laraman's Blessing. Global ability for the Apothecary, able to force off the Farseer here. Blue still locking down the bottom VP. 2-1 cap for red though. Gote's done a great job up here. Librarian on the field for Sickler. Korbin going for Bloodletters. Tier 3 for Kingdom. Pretty quick tier 3 for a Tyranid player. We have a Wraithguard on the field for Gote. You see they have their Warlock leader boosting their speed, giving them Wraith Sight. If that Warlock dies, they are stunned. Blue team taking this power back, which has been heavily invested in by Gote. You can see the 3 Eldar generators there. Kingdom coming to defend with dual Termagants and Hormagaunts. They do not have any basic synapse though. Here come the Wraith Guard. You feel they'll just be jumped by Assault Marines or tied up by the Librarian. Assault Marines taking lots of damage though, and this is a full retreat from Sickler, well apart from the Librarian who stands firm. Red's taking the bottom thanks to the Dreadnought who flamed the Tarantula turret to death, I assume. Lost a bit of HP. Walker unit for Space Marine starts off as a melee walker. Bloodletters are on the field for Korbin. Powerful melee infantry demons. Plague Champion at the top. He is forced off though. Wraithguard forced to retreat. Librarian can tie up one of these squads of Guardians. There's a special attack knocking back all this stuff. Pretty good destructive melee from the Librarian. There's his smite. He's now in a bit of trouble though. Singing Spear from the Farseer will hurt him, and he retreats. Farseer very, very quick. He's now in full flight. Down to 8 HP, just gets away. Unlucky for Gote. Red's now completely taking over the bottom here. Zone throat, we have fully upgraded tactical marines, fully upgraded scouts, a dreadnought at full HP. Bloodletters forced off with half of their HP. Chaos Space Marines, no mark yet, but they do have Eternal War and their aspiring champion. Tunnel going up from Kingdom. Lost a bunch of units, has replaced his Hormagaunts. Is now in tier 3. Gote going tier 3. Plague Marines on the way for Korbin to try and deal with that dreadnought. Hormagaunts are going to wipe. Kingdom struggling in tier 2. The Icon of Noble doing damage constantly to surrounding units. One of my favourite accessories. Looks like Korbin has decided to come top to battle the Eldar. Maybe he feels that his build deals with the Eldar a bit better. He has Bloodletters to tie up the Wraith Guard and the Plague Champion to do nice damage to Guardians and the like. Dreadnought has been marked targeted by Raven's Signum armor and goes down. Big loss for FaHu. Dreadnoughts aren't cheap, and this is full retreat here. Zone throat jumped by Assault Marines, is in big trouble and goes down. Kingdom gets his Swarm Lord but has very little else, just a single Termagant Brood. 2 to uncap for red though. Blues now have the top power, have not reinforced it with a node. Double Guardians and Wraith Guard. Plague Champion creating Guardian zombies with his Plague Sword. Guardians retreat, here come the Bloodletters. Teleporting into the retreat path just a bit too late. Can chop up some Wraith Guard though. One dies. The rest should get away. Farseer comes in to try and hold them up. She needs to be careful herself. Gets in a special attack which probably saved her. Now fleets away. Blue team now dominating the bottom. It's in back and forth. Plasma gun and Signum armor then for the Techmarine. Fully kitted out, Sickler has the anointed power axe, armor of purity and improved medical equipment. Farseer did go down in the end. That was a singularity from this D cannon, tier 3 artillery unit with huge range, a setup team. Huge engagement at the bottom VP. Turret going down from Ravens. It's being flamed though. Won't last long. Suppresses all this stuff, but then instantly goes down thanks to Flamer tacticals, which then retreat. Blues have so much stuff here, they're going to force off the Reds and do. Great unit preservation all round from the blue team. Kingdom has the Swarmlord on the field, super unit for the Tyranids. Fighting melee, devastating in combat, and grants a speed, synapse and reinforcement to surrounding Tyranids. Nurgle worship to heal up this infantry and the Bloodletters. Plague Marines capping. Going to be a triple cap here for blue, sorry. D cannon still set up. Not doing much to the hugely tough Plague Marines though. Farseer sees them off, tries to decap. All this stuff can engage her though. She now has Wraith Guard support, gives them guide, buffing their damage, but they're in melee with the Plague Champion, so can't fire. Swarmlord leading the charge at the bottom. Has used one of his abilities, did not see what he did. He's getting melted and mark targeted, and orbs of the Omnisire on him. There is a Tyrannid formation. Angels of Death popped by Sickler to preserve his units. Ravens lost its entire army almost. Assault Marines the only thing that live. Sickler staying in the fight, now retreats, so it's just too much stuff. Apothecary and Librarian still in there. Now they flee. Triple cap for blue still. Gote unable to really touch Korbin at top. Techmarine of Ravens went down. He's getting a tactical marine squad trying to rebuild his army here. FaHu and Korbin go tier 3. Warrior Brood on the way for Kingdom. He has Gene Sealers. I assume he wants melee synapse. Red's now hitting this blue power, are they? No, looks like they're chasing some chaos units. Reds have taken bottom, 2-1 cap for blue. Smite goes off. Assault Marines jump the tactical marines and full retreat from FaHu. Not sure what he was trying to do there. Could have hit this power. Bloodletters teleport into the retreat path of all this stuff. Took out 1 or 2 models. Gote has pushed Rad's natural VP. We're losing a power node to the enemy. Also recapping this power and going for that wreck point. Here comes Korbin though. Bloodletters, Chaos Space Marines with Mark of Zinch, fully kitted out Plague Champion and Plague Marines. 2 squads of Bloodletters in fact. Guardians flee very quickly. Double Bloodletters in retreat path. Could be a dead Guardian squad. They are saved by a devastating volley from these Wraith Guard. That was nasty. Swarmlord still up and kicking. Wading into melee against Marines. Gene Stealers on the field have their Rending Claws. Do they have melee synapse? They don't, because the warriors fleed. They are forced off. Level 2 now. Swarmlord's going to go down and does. Big blow for Kingdom. Ravens and Sickler hitting tier 3. Korbin already tier 3. Floating a lot of power. There's an Imperial Abyss. Angels of Death saving these units. Or will it? Only lasts 9 seconds. Bunch of models do go down. 3 or 4 there. Ouch. It's a lot of expensive reinforcement for FaHu.
The enemy has 200 points remaining.
Wraith Guard forcing off the Plague Champion immediately. Plague Marines come to tie them up in melee. Guardians retreat in a very strange direction. Chaos Space Marines do not force melee though. Plague Marines are tough, but they can't stay there being shot up by Guardians for long. Here come double Bloodletters. Bottom is still blue. 2-1 cap for them. 199 plays 175, so still pretty close. Double Gene Sealers on the field for Kingdom. Quite strange to see a Ravener not go for the ranged Tyranid build. Instead we have a very nasty melee Tyranid build, which would be good against Marines. If you can get into melee range, shut down all of these tactical Marine squads. Let's see what happens. Assault Marines jumping in will disrupt all this stuff. There goes another squad. Gene Stealers are in there. Marines of FaHu retreat, leaving Kingdom in there alone. Gene Stealers have been mark targeted, but he pushes anyway, doing a good job pushing off Assault Marines. Should turn and engage now, and does. Warriors targeted and wiped, I would have thought. No, they live. Techmarine dies. All of these Marines flee the Gene Stealers. Gote down here helping out. Takes out the Apothecary, in fact, in retreat with her Singing Spear. Also has the Seer Council on the field. Unique unit to the Farseer. Very strong melee unit. Leap into combat, dealing damage. Here we go. Up against Plague Marines. Gene Stealers retreat. Bloodletters pour in. Terminators hit the field from Sickler and Ravens. These are the ranged variety of Terminators with Storm Bolters and Power Fists. Huge engagement in the centre here. Something else being pulled down. Terminators from FaHu, and they are. Assault Marines jumping in. 3 Terminator squads. One already has its assault cannon. Huge damage to a single target. FaHu's Terminators teleported out. We have the Apothecary and Techmarine still down over there. 2-to-1 cap for red team. Gote has locked it down pretty well with a D cannon and a bunch of Guardians. Korbin can come and revive both of these commanders and get some pretty nice XP out of it. Apothecary of FaHu lost a lot of stuff, only has Terminators and Tactical Marines, jumped by Assault Marines. He'll be forced off and retreats. The rest of his stuff deciding to back off. Will he survive? Does, with 35 HP, has combat stimulants and improved medical equipment. Korbin now level 6, level 3 Techmarine, level 6 Apothecary, Gote level 2, Raven Alpha level 3, has his Synapse Aura, FaHu level 3. 2-to-1 cap now for blue. It's been back and forth at the bottom. Here comes another engagement. Double Gene Stealers with melee Synapse. Suppressed by the assault cannon of the Terminators. Assault Marines jumping in a huge engagement. Raven Alpha goes down, was marked targeted. Wraithguard don't seem to be firing. There they go. Will do friendly fire, of course. Gene Stealers again doing a great job forcing off these Marines. Good choice by Kingdom to go for a melee build. Seer Council forced off. Terminators. Assault cannons for both of the blue team's Terminators. Perhaps a heavy flamer would have been better against all of these Tyranids. Korbin forces off Gote from the top. That nasty Icon of Nurgle. And now he can cap the top. And blues will have a 2-to-1. Red's very, very strong at the bottom. Double Gene Stealers with melee Synapse, Terminators, Tactical Marines, Wraithguard. Great unclean one on the way for Korbin. Looks like he's going to use him at the bottom. Would take a while to get to the top. FaHu seems to be saving for something. Land Raider, I assume. 120 plays 114, very close. Here comes the great unclean one, tying up these Wraithguard. There's an Imperial Abyss by Korbin the second that is devastating to the Tyranids. One Gene Stealer squad wiped out, the rest of Kingdom's forces just about escaping. Blues can now cap the bottom for a 2-to-1. D cannon will be forced off by the great unclean one. Don't think Gote has spotted it. He has retaken Red's natural though. Seer Council engage the Plague Marines, knocking them all over the place with their leap. And they are forced off. He can now cap Blue's natural. Since Korbin was forced off, he's now on his way back up. Perhaps he can decap it in time, should be able to. Blues do take bottom, 111 plays 105. Land Raider Redeemer on the way for FaHu. It's going to be a very close finish. Farseer trying to decap this point before Korbin gets there, has double bloodletters with him. Not sure where his CSM are, here they come. Great Unclean One is on his way up there. Melee super unit. Not sure what the Plague Champion was doing on his own. Perhaps a diversion so the bloodletters can warp in. Up against Guardians, they'll have trouble against the Seal Cancel though. There goes Spirit Stones, healing all of this stuff, great use of it there. Phased out bloodletters, kite away. Chased by Seer Council. Red's not even pushing the bottom yet. 1-to-1 cap, since this one is decapped. Korbin will be able to recap it though. There's a nasty Nurgle vomit for these Guardians. Great Unclean One's going to march straight to the Red's natural to clear it out. He doesn't know that there's nothing there. He of course cannot cap with it. Red team now need to decide, do they all focus on the top to try and cap those VPs, or do they spend some time trying to retake the bottom? So much stuff here. Tons of Marines, double Terminators, fully upgraded commanders. Turret going down from Ravens, his third. He decides to scuttle it, or was that a Terminator running over it? I think it was. Puts another down. 2-to-1 cap for blue, very close. 111 plays 70. Here comes the Seer Council and Wraithguard. Seer Council still level 1. All kicking off at the bottom with the Land Raider. Tyranids in support. Land Raider gets melter bombed, missiles flying into it. There's a Tyranno formation. Central Spire hits nothing. The others do hit a bunch of stuff though, which goes flying. Gene Stealers need to be careful. Angels of Death used again. So much global abilities used in this game. Huge engagement. Land Raider doesn't last long. Here comes another Swarm Lord from Kingdom. Double turrets down from Ravens. Here comes the Swarm Lord, but I don't think it's going to stand against all this stuff. Especially mark targeted now. It's using its leech essence, healing it up. Sucking the life out of all this stuff. Great Unclean One forces off the poor Farseer, who just gets away. Swarm Lord doing his job, leading this charge. One turret goes down. Swarm Lord goes over the after the other one. Sorry. Terminators capping the bottom. 2-0 cap. It's going to be a triple cap. Is it? No, the Terminators stop the bottom just in time. But I don't think Reds can push the top. There's no way Gote can push against a Great Unclean One, which is wandering down. It should stay up there, but it's not going to matter. There's the VP counter going down. Great game. Kingdom just lost too much stuff in tier 2. Managed to rebuild a nice melee army, but still a lot of losses, giving the blue team a lot of red resource to use. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you next time.